evening and welcome to the 2030th regular meeting of December 3rd, 2025. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. It's going to be led by Laura Toy and our Girl Scouts. So if our Girl Scouts, American Heritage Girls Troop 711 will come up and lead us.
Go here. Come on up. The millions of people here, right? Ready for you? Ready?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Nice job. Thank you. Good job.
Let's hear it. There we go. Whatever.
So good evening. We have a couple special recognitions tonight. We're going to start with the Livonia JV Falcons football and cheer, and we're going to turn it over to Councilmember Scheel for that one.
That's me.
Oh, sorry. Back to Donovic. Sorry, Councilmember Donovic.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. Good evening, everybody. I first want to set the record straight. I do have the pleasure and honor of reading these accommodations for the Falcons, but I am an Oriole, so go Orioles. I want to start off.
Well, that's why I trusted to Scheel, because I knew Councilman Scheel was a Falcon. That was my Falcon. That's why
Councilwoman Scheel was a JV or Falcons cheerleading coach. And then Council President was a Blue Jay. Ugh. Come on. And then our favorite Councilwoman Toy was a bulldog, which probably nobody in the audience, with the exception of a few people, know. We got one hand. So there you go. We got a few. So, all right. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Council Vice President. I have the honor of reading these accommodations. I will start off with the JV Football 2025 League Champions and 2025 City Champions. On behalf of the City of Livonia and the City Council and our Council President, we are thrilled to recognize your outstanding JV football team for winning both league and city championships. We are proud of your achievements and wish you continued victories. Great job, guys. And I also have the honor of presenting the certificate for the Livonia Falcons JV or Cheer 2025 first and second place contest winners. On behalf of the City of Livonia, our City Council, and our Council President, we recognize the JV Falcon Cheer team for placing first in Pom and second in Cheer at the 2025 Cheerfest competition. We are incredibly proud of these young athletes and these young women for representing their team with excellence and spirit, and wish all of you guys great success. So congrats.
All right. So, Vice President's going to be running the meeting today. We've only got a few more in the year, so I'll probably get yelled at for speaking too much, but that's fine. Yeah. If our coach would like to come up. And kids, if you guys would like to come up too, we can get a good picture and present you with this. It's a big honor. We got the trophy.
Here, go line up there. Remember, tall guys in the back, short guys in front. No, here.
Just move back.
Yeah, let's see.
Coaches.
There we go.
11? Okay.
Stand up behind them.
Use the brake.
Oh, look at this guy. Uh-oh. Look at this guy. Who's number 19?
Who's number 19?
JD Jolly.
JD Jolly.
Hi, JD. Your hair will get you away.
All right. All right, let's get the picture.
Dude, yeah. Dude is great.
Oh, they're ready.
You've done this before.
No, but I should.
Here, Coltenberg. Make sure you show it.
And the bulldog.
Super Bowl champs on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Great, darn it. It's spare no expense.
Cheerleaders are not, no one's from cheerleading is here. Yeah, just have them come around.
Yeah,
Or just have them come right here. We'll stay.
I know, exactly.
Yeah, with the 30, with all the kids like that.
Oh, yeah. Coming to you on the next one. Donovan got lost.
All right, if you would like to, so kind of some history on the Falcons. We've got Coach here.
Yeah, hey, boys. Hey, I don't care if season's over. We'll still run and do donuts. Yeah, they're a different group for cheering for that. So, yes, thank you all for having us. For a small group of these boys, this is the second time they've had the honor to accept it. I think we had 7 of our guys that won the flag, which is first and second grade Super Bowl trophy. Mr. Jolly and JD were on the team at that point in time, and they're with us again. So, yeah, it's a lot of work, and I just want to shout out these boys and again, all these parents in the back, too, because we couldn't do any of this without their support every single day. So it's been a long 4 months. We won the Super Bowl early November on that snowy Sunday day. So that was the day we played. It was cold, snowy, and these boys toughed it out, and they took it home. I knew we had a shot this year. Week 3, we played the Orioles. And it was a dogfight. It was a dogfight. It was 0-0 going into the 4th. And if you guys know the history with this group and the Orioles, like we battle them. It's a good group. They're well coached, and we battle them every single year. We lost to them the last 2 years in the playoffs. So to be able to get that win in Week 3, I knew these boys were special, and they had a shot to do some good things. Beat the Eagles. We beat the Blue Jays last week of the season, the Secure City champs. And then we got to play them the next week in the first round of the playoffs, and we won in overtime. So, yeah, it was a great year. And, again, thank you guys for having us. Thank you, boys, again, for a good year. Thank you, parents. And go Falcons.
Let's hear it for the Falcons, everybody. Hey, congratulations. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Appreciate it. I know, it's great.
All right, thank you. We have another special commendation tonight. I'm going to turn this over to Councilmember Toy, and we're going to honor Carol Strum.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. It is indeed an honor. Long time, Carol. Known you and your good friend Judy Skirto. Many years ago, the best way to find yourself is to use yourself in the service of others, and you certainly have done that. And we, as a community, honor you tonight and your family for all your service at Schoolcraft Community College. A wonderful institution, good food, and that's what we appreciate. So this certification by the President and our Vice President of the Council, we are honored to have you, Carol M. Storm, on behalf of the City of Livonia. We are proud to recognize your dedication to our community. Serving as Vice Chair on the Board of Trustees at Schoolcraft College, your commitment, your contributions, and your steadfast community involvement have played a vital role in our city. We wish you continued success, service, and friendship in the years to come. And I know you were at Schoolcraft for how many years, Carol? 31 years. God bless you, Carol. Please bring your family up, and please stand, and we'll take pictures with you. I know it. We gotta ring around the rosy. Yeah, really.
Excuse me, sir.
All right, and now before we start the meeting, I know I saw Dan West out there. I'm going to have Dan come up and give us an update on the Night of Lights at Greenmead. Yeah. You got it? Oh, he must have. Good, good. Yeah, he was just not trying to knock it out.
Good evening, members of council. Thank you for your time today. Dan West, the president of the Livonia Westland Chamber of Commerce, and I'm here to update everybody on our 6th annual Night of Lights program, which is coming up later this month. It is the 6th year of the event, which has been a great partnership with our chamber and Livonia Parks and Recreation. Our teams meet year-round to plan this program and all the work to staff the weekends of our night events. Night of Lights is made possible each year by generous support from our presenting sponsor, Masco Corporation, and also we have about 25 other local companies and organizations that support the event. And the lights are installed on the historic buildings, trees, fencing, and other ornaments by Livonia's own Zorro's Christmas Lights. We tweaked the program this year. It'll be 4 nights, 4 longer nights. So it'll be on Saturday the 13th, Sunday the 14th, Saturday the 20th, and Sunday the 21st from 4 to 8 p.m. with special themes and musical performances each night. On the 13th, it's Grinch night. We'll have Grinch there with Grinch gifts, which the kids like because they get a gift, but they may not necessarily like what they get, but that's part of that. December 14th is Light Sirens and Heroes Night. Livonia Police and Fire and Rescue and the Sheriff's Department Mounted Unit will be there for the kids on the 14th. On the 20th is Frozen Night. We'll have characters Elsa and Anna there and ice carving as well. And then Holiday Magic on the 21st, which is the Baffling Bill music show. So it's only $10 per person, per vehicle to enter the park. And all that money goes towards Greenmead's restoration efforts. We've had thousands of people walk through the park through the 6 years of the event so far, and more than $40,000 has been raised for Greenmead thanks to this event over the last 6 years. And then we will hopefully add to that this year. The event also provides fundraising opportunities for high school groups, and which help us staff and volunteer at the events. And we have donated over $4,600 to these groups over the last 5 years. So it's truly a community-wide event, and it's really grown through the years. And if you had a chance to go by there and go by it, it really is cool to see it lit up. And I think this year, we have snow on the ground. I think that'll add an element to Night of Lights of this year. One other thing I want to add is that we are fortunate enough that our city and event will be featured on the Channel 4 Morning News on Saturday, December 13th. As you may know, they do their morning news and they'll have a reporter do a remote report from there. So the Parks and Rec team, the mayor, and we're going to get some kids there and stuff like that to show off what goes on at Night of Lights and to promote that event for us and hopefully get more cars and more money generated for Greenmead. So I just wanted to share that with you folks and to the watching and the audience watching tonight about Night of Lights. We look forward to bringing it back for a 6th year this month. So any questions from any of you?
I mean, I would say it's one of the most fun things of the year. It is very exciting. So if you haven't been, make it a point. But thank you, Mr. West, for coming out.
Thank you for your time, folks. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Madam Vice President,
Mr. Donovic, yeah.
is the Chamber of Commerce going to have heaters to keep it warm? In years past, it's been kind of chilly.
Mother Nature does what Mother Nature does, but you will have access to the Alexander Blue House, which is heated, so you can get out of the chill there in the Alexander Blue House. So,
It's called layers, Mr. Donovan.
Yes, thank you.
All right. With that, welcome to the 2030th regular meeting of the Livonia City Council. This is a voting meeting. Minutes of this meeting will be approved at the next regular meeting scheduled to be held Wednesday, December 17th, 2025. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Councilmember Toy.
Here.
Councilmember Donovic.
Here.
President McCullough.
Here?
Councilmember Brzezinski.
Here.
Councilmember Shield.
Here.
And Vice President Tashnik.
Here. We have 6 members present. Councilmember Morgan is unable to be with us tonight. I will now entertain a motion for the minutes from the regular meeting of the City Council held on November 17th, 2025.
So moved.
Support.
Moved by Mr. Donovic, supported by Budzinski. Any comments from the audience? Seeing none. Clerk, please take the vote.
Councilmember Toy.
Aye.
Councilmember Donovic.
Aye.
President McCullough.
Aye.
Councilmember Brzezinski.
Aye.
Councilmember Shield.
Aye.
Vice President Tashnik.
Aye, and the vote passes 6-0, and the minutes are approved. Audience communication. The council has set aside 30 minutes for audience communication for items not on tonight's agenda. Our parliamentarian, Mr. Donovic, will keep the time. Please just head to either podium. And if you could introduce yourself, just name and address for the record, that would be amazing.
Denny Berenson, Wayne Road. At the 2029th regular council meeting on November 17th, during audience communication, we experienced some disgusting behavior from one of our elected officials, a councilman elected to listen and be responsive to residents. When one of our residents asked for an additional minute so he could finish his point, Councilman Morgan said, "I'll speak to this. This gentleman has spoken to us at every single council meeting for pretty much the last year. I'm clear on his thoughts. I don't need to hear any more on it. The vote has already been taken on sheets. It's a done deal." End of quote. Apparently, realizing he should be listening, Mr. Morgan went on to say, "We do have to listen to our residents, and we do listen to our residents." End of that quote. Then, in contradiction to what he had just said, Morgan continued, "But in this case, this is just complete rhetoric that keeps going on and on and on. So I'm not going to be in favor of the resolution that would allow an extra minute." Mr. Morgan did not see fit to allow the resident even one more minute. His comments were offensive and caused an outrage among the residents. The takeaway here is clear. Certain council members don't want to hear anything else on the sheet's topic. They seem to have made up their minds and don't care about what we residents have to say. This is shameful. If Mr. Morgan and others on the council feel this way, then they should have resigned a long time ago. Every one of you council members, including Mr. Morgan, campaigned on listening to the residents and following the rules. Then, in the heat of a moment, you don't want to hear the truth. Why, Mr. Morgan, do you want us to be quiet? And what is it that you don't want to hear? Why are you so adamant that Sheets is a done deal? Mr. Morgan's comments were very inappropriate. He owes the residents of Livonia an apology for conduct unbecoming of an elected official of this city.
Good evening. If you girls could
evening.
introduce yourselves.
Our names are Charlotte Labs,
Gabriella Norris. And Jessica Norris.
and we are from American Heritage Girls Troop 711 from Crossroads Church. Our troop is offering wreaths wreath sponsors to raise awareness and to honor every veteran laid to rest at Glen Eden Memorial Park in Livonia through Wreaths Across America.
American Heritage Girls is a nationwide Christian organization promoting leadership, service, and outdoor adventure. Our motto is faith, service, fun. This will be our second year participating in Wreaths Across America. It is a fundraiser for our troop and is also an opportunity to serve the community and demonstrate our faith. Last year, ceremonies were held across the country at 4,909 participating locations, placing more than 3 million sponsored veterans wreaths. We were able to provide almost 300 wreaths at Glen Eden. This year, we hope to do more. This year, National Wreaths Across America Day will be Saturday, December 13th. We hope everyone will join us for a local ceremony at noon at Glen Eden.
If you would like to attend, we have flyers available.
Girls?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your service. Good evening.
Good evening. Steve King, Coventry Gardens. I want to address a few things very quickly from the last meeting. I want to thank the DPW for picking up my leaves today. I really do. My one and only pickup. Looking at the schedule, I'm supposed to be picked up on the 15th. I got no leaf pickup. Went to the DPW many, many times. Mr. Moore said that he sets the schedule so he can get this printed. I don't think leaf pickup should be determined by the printer's schedule. I'm hoping that in the future, the Livonia will create a repository like they do at Bushel Mart, where all the landscapers have an opportunity to dump their leaves for free. They could do that on Glendale. Secondly, Ted Davis talked about the Sheldon Pool, and he specifically said that Laura asked him over $5 million to do the Sheldon Pool. Well, Dearborn did 3 pools, twice the size of Sheldon. All 3 pools, they completely renovated. They're beautiful for less than $5 million. I think he's lost credibility when it comes to pricing things, the guy that brings you a $1.1 million pavilion. And then I want to address Martha. She was talking about the auditor. A clean audit doesn't necessarily mean there were no problems. It may just reflect the limits of the system. Auditors are hired by the very city they review. This creates a built-in tension. They're supposed to be completely independent, yet their paycheck comes from the people whose work they are evaluating. If an auditor issues a tough or critical report, they risk not being rehired. City management can simply choose a different firm the next year. So there's a financial incentive to give you a clean audit. This setup pressures auditors to soften language and minimize findings. Problems often get framed as recommendations instead of serious internal control issues. City management interacts with auditors daily and quietly influences the tone. Even if they don't say it outright, management can steer the process or make it uncomfortable for auditors who identify major problems. The public assumes auditors are watchdogs, but the system isn't independent. Auditors want future work, and cities want clean reports. That dynamic can dilute the transparency that residents expect. It doesn't mean audits are fraudulent, just structurally conflicted. Most auditors are ethical, but the incentives can subtly shape what gets emphasized, softened, and overlooked. So, you have the same auditor for 39 years. That is a red flag. It's time to have a new set of eyes look at our books. We've got real problems with money in this city, and the auditors are not catching it. When I was on the school board, that's why we got rid of Plant Moran and we went with a new auditing firm just for that very reason alone. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Good evening.
Hi. Patty Riggio, Livonia. At the October 20th, 25 council meeting, there were 2 votes taken regarding the Sheets site plan. The first one was a vote to approve the site plan, and it was a deadlock 3-3. Since there were not enough votes to pass, the motion was denied. For like the next 12 minutes, the meeting got very hectic, and it was capped off by the following exchange, which took place between Ms. Scheel and Mr. Fisher. And I'm going to kind of paraphrase it, but Ms. Scheel said, well, if the denying vote passes, then let's say at the next meeting, one of us who choose to vote no decides to bring it back up for a yes vote. Could we do that? And then Mr. Fisher, paraphrasing again, said it's got to come from the prevailing side. The motion would have to be made by someone who voted yes to deny. And then again, Ms. Scheel replied, okay, so to reconsider the same motion and this site plan, someone on the prevailing side would have to supply the motion to rehear it. So on the prevailing side would be someone who voted to deny the site plan. If you review the videotape, for at least an hour leading up to this exchange, you will see that Ms. Scheel was texting back and forth with someone on her cell phone. It seems very odd that during this very intense conversation that she would be texting. For the record, FOIA requests were submitted and to get those text messages, but Mr. Fisher's office denied the request, stating that Ms. Scheel was using her personal cell phone, not a city-provided one. We want to know what's the difference. She was texting during city council while it was in session. Where is the transparency here? It was obvious that Ms. Scheel was being coached by someone very familiar with Robert's rules. Think about it. Who would have such detailed knowledge of Robert's Rules of Order to come up with such a scheme? Vote yes just so we can reverse things at the next meeting. And who cares if we make a mockery of the city council and the entire voting process? This is why a FOIA request was submitted. We want to know who Ms. Scheel was texting with and who was directing it. Since it went on during a city council meeting while they were in session, we feel that the council and the residents are entitled to this information. Ms. Scheel, who were you communicating with? Will you share the full content of the text?
You have to address the chair. You can't address
I'm sorry?
Yep, sorry.
Through the chair. Will she share the context of these messages? If not, is there a conflict of interest with what she was doing? Is she hiding something? Please address these questions.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. Jason Murray, Livonia resident, contributing writer at the Michigan Enjoyer. Many of you know me as something other than a writer. I'm a Stevenson dad, hockey dad. I wear a lot of hats in this city. I like to write optimistically. I write about the Stevenson swim team. I like to write about the hockey dads in this community. I like to write about the potential future Hall of Fame pitcher laying in rest at Parkcrest right now. He may get in. I'm working on it. I'm working on another piece about that. I don't like to write negative stories, but I'm the only journalist in this town. No one else is covering anything. So occasionally I have to, and my last piece was a pessimistic piece or a critical piece about an individual on the city council. I didn't want to write it. Even now, as I'm talking to you guys, I have pause. Maybe I shouldn't have wrote it, but I did, and someone had to do it, and it needed to be done. The blowback to that story has been very unusual in this city. The last several days, I've watched some incredible, strange behavior out of many people. I'm fine with it. I've been doxxed within the last year by a prominent Michigan politician. I've got 2 nationally known influencers that harass me on a daily basis. I've got a current gubernatorial candidate for the state of Michigan that hectors me in my DMs practically every day because I won't talk to him. So I'm used to like absurd, weird behavior in this sort of realm. However, something strange happened yesterday. At 4:10 p.m., I got a phone call from a member of this elected body. And in a very carefully worded, veiled threat, I was told that a lawsuit was coming at me by somebody on this council. And it was definitely a veiled, carefully worded threat. And, you know, I wasn't even told why. I think that's BS. I'm the only journalist in this town. My story is sourced by 25 people, some of them that work in this building. I was told that a lawsuit was getting filed against me. I don't know. I'm just a regular guy. I get scared when someone says they're going to sue me. So I don't know. What does that mean? I'm not going to say who called. If another member of this body calls me, threatening me with a lawsuit over something I wrote, I'm going to write that piece on that city council person. I'm not going to do it right now, but that's how it is. Actually, to be honest with you, I was quite pissed off after I took that phone call. So that's where I'm at right now. And as you can tell, you can hear my voice. I'm pissed. End it with that one.
Thank you. Good evening. It's been a minute, Mr. Martin.
Christopher Martin, great state of Michigan. That gentleman should have asked for one more minute and just see who would have approved that up there. Just want to talk a little bit about texting that was brought up during a council meeting. Other cities have outlawed that. I always was confused too there's a big difference between watching these meetings at home and watching them here. We should never have any one of you eating during a meeting, okay? Now, I know that you have other meetings with people at the library here or whatever, and you bring some food to eat, but you're conducting business, not just for me, but for others. And I always thought that looked unprofessional. No one's going to die up here due to lack of starvation, okay? So, lack of food. So anyway, I don't know how much time I have left, but free speech, big advocate of that. Don't like Scott Morgan's behavior on free speech, but that's his decision, okay? 3 of the 4 candidates actually came in after the election and thanked the people that voted for them. Well, that started with me. When I did that after an election, to thank the 5,060 people that voted for me at that particular time, I was shouted down by Laura Toy, who was council president, and some other cronies up there at that particular time. And I thought that was a bad look. Also, I was going to do the job for nothing and donate that money to charities in Livonia. Now what's going to be discussed later on this evening is we want more money for city council or some other elected officials. It's pathetic. You guys really need to do some soul searching. Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening. Genevieve Lenore, 9063 Beatrice. I just have another historical tidbit to share. The northwest corner of Livonia was the last section to establish a village. As such, the early residents along that western boundary were usually considered residents of Plymouth and were recorded as such. With that in mind, I'd like to tell you about a few of those western boundary residents. Between 1825 and 1830, brothers Erastus Hussey, Edwin and Cyrus Fuller, and their stepbrothers, the Durfees, made their way here from New York. Erastus settled on the Plymouth side of the boundary, on what is now the southwest corner of 6 Mile and Haggerty. Edwin Fuller settled next door in Livonia Township on the southeast corner of 6 Mile and Haggerty. Cyrus Fuller settled on the northeast corner of 5 Mile and Newburgh, with the Durfee stepbrothers all nearby. Only a few years later, Erastus sold his Plymouth land, returning for a short time to New York, and then settled in Battle Creek, Michigan, where he became one of the most noted Underground Railroad station masters in state history. In the Underground Railroad in Michigan by Carol Mull, it says, Erastus Hussey's knowledge of the Underground Railroad from Parma to its terminus was as follows. Townsend E. Gidley in Parma, Henry Francisco in Francisco, Samuel W. Dexter in Dexter, Guy Beckley in Ann Arbor, John Getty in Gettysburg. He forgot the names of agents in Ypsilanti, Plymouth, and Swartzburg. It's irrational to assume that Hussey forgot the names of agents in the community where his brothers and many close friends lived, and that it is interestingly, his brother Edwin Fuller served for a time as the treasurer of the Michigan Anti-Slavery Society, and his wife Harriet as its recording secretary, whose document collection helps to create the foundation of knowledge on anti-slavery activity in Michigan. His brother Cyrus Fuller served on the executive committee that voted to form the Michigan Anti-Slavery Society. He was a society vice president in 1854 and was elected the president of the society in 1855 and 1856, which brought the convention to the Union Meeting House, where Sojourner Truth spoke. He also notably served as vice president of the American Anti-Slavery Society for the decade from 1854 to 1864. The Fullers were members of the Union Society of Livonia. Edwin, Harriet, and possibly Cyrus are buried in Union Cemetery, a cemetery without even a sign. I would sincerely appreciate anything you all could do to work with the Historical Preservation Commission to get this priceless historical site a proper sign and some type of formal acknowledgement of the vital impact that these people buried there had on our country. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening.
Evening. Noah Joseph Wojcik, 15351 Brookfield. It is wintertime, and you know what that means, right? Snow and ice. And I've got some concerns regarding for the rec center. It is very icy. Last night I was taking my dog for a walk in the sidewalk. It's just covered with ice from 5 Mile to the next street, ending at rec center property. Even some parts of the parking lot, very icy. And another concern I have, I brought this up at one time, but the sidewalk over by 5 Mile in Farmington by the Community Choice Credit Union, the cement is lifted up and nothing's been done about it. Although I can't imagine it's not going to be done during this season because it's obviously cement, with the seasons, obviously, it hardens quicker anyway, so I'm bringing this up not to complain, but rather for safety concerns, and it doesn't seem like it's much salt. There isn't a lot of salt there, and I just want to make sure that we don't have any injuries, and it's mostly for safety concerns, so thank you.
Thank you. Good evening.
Hi, Lynn Mills, South Livonia. First of all, kudos to the Livonia Department of Public Works. I saw them picking up leaves and garbage at the same time on Monday, I believe. So thank you for that, Livonia. I was at the Planning Commission meeting last night, and surprise, I know we're not allowed to ask questions, but Livonia Vision 21 is being morphed into Livonia 26? I don't know. I'm just reporting what I saw last night, and it's coming to a city council meeting near you. And it has our own very own Jennifer O'Connor in the slideshow it put up last night. So I'm just posting here what I saw yesterday, and it says public comment period is going to be between January and March. Well, it says the dates are off, but it says Livonia 26 Master Map Amendment, and they said there is a book 5 coming out. It was a very well-spoken young man, and everybody on the Planning Commission was very nice, very agreeable, and they said, you're giving us a lot to digest. I'm just bringing you information that I saw last night. That's all I want to do. And I want to say Merry Christmas in case I don't make it back to the next City Council meeting, but I'm pretty sure I will. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Getting some fireworks tonight, and I haven't even spoken yet. On the matter of the site plan, we all need to acknowledge that Sheetz representative, Mr. Alex Zawicki, clearly conceded two following points.
Sir, can you just quickly give your name for the record?
What's that?
Your name for the record.
Greg
sorry.
Ralco.
Thank you.
Gulf Ridge Villa, yeah. On the matter of the, so start my time now. On the matter of the site plan, we all need to acknowledge that Sheetz representative, Mr. Alex Zawicki, clearly conceded the two following points. You can follow along in your handout. The first concession can be found on page 2 of the minutes of the October 6th City Council study session. It reads, Alex Zawicki, the petitioner from Sheetz, thoroughly reviewed the site plans, including updates since he last spoke to the council, and responded to all of the council's questions. He stated restricted hours would not be considered, but he would be willing to eliminate the drive-through. He stated they would not sell alcohol. Of course, that's against the ordinance, and nobody knew that. Clearly, Sheetz agreed to drop the drive-through. And the second concession can be found on page 28 of the September 16th packet commission minutes. These minutes were also included in the October 6th meeting packet when Mr. Zawicki made the following statement. We can agree to not play music outside. Clearly, Sheetz agreed to no outdoor music. Unfortunately, in the hectic motion making that took place at the end of the November 5th City Council meeting, the site plan did not specify these restrictions. Therefore, we are asking the City Council to correct the November 5th minutes to line up with what the Sheetz representatives clearly stated. No drive-through and no outdoor music. Action needs to be made to correct the minutes as follows. Delete the drive-through, including any and all windows where a customer can pick up an order from outside the building. Delete any outside menu boards and associated underground infrastructure that would serve a drive-through both now and in the future. Delete the drive-through lane that wraps around the building. Finally, designate that the speakers outside are only to be used for customer emergency announcements and that no music should be allowed at any time. We know that the minutes need to be accurate and corrections not only need to be made, but are required. Heck, at the November 5th meeting, Martha got the October 20th minutes corrected to properly reflect the number of times that she and Brandon passed the gavel. So this is a request that you are all too familiar with, and you need,
Sir,
and you can't deny.
Thank you.
You need to do it tonight.
Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Nick Lamaco. I reside at 20154 Edgewood in Deer Creek Estates. I'd like to provide some supplemental information regarding the actions of the rescinding vote regarding the Sheetz site plan. On November 13th, I drafted a letter, and each of you received it, regarding my opinion and how that action occurred. For the benefit of the audience watching and here in the audience tonight, I'd just like to say that the council in November passed by majority vote a motion to rescind a prior motion which denied site plan approval to construct that gasoline station. Shortly thereafter, a new motion was made and passed by the City Council, which granted that site plan approval. It was alleged at this meeting that the rescinding motion and vote correctly followed Robert's Rules of Order. In my letter to you dated November 13th, I indicated it did not because adequate notice was not given. And in that detailed letter, I cited by letter and verse why it did not comply and meet with that. Now, as you know, there's a citizens group right now that has filed a lawsuit against the City Zoning Board of Appeals. I'm one of those citizens that did that because we object to what the Zoning Board of Appeals did. Independent of that, the legal counsel representing us looked at this issue of Robert's Rules and your city charter and came to the same conclusion that I did in my November 13th letter. So now we have a legal counsel indicating that it was not done right. I provided information also indicating that it was not done right. So I asked through the chair, if you will, and your attorney, what do we do next about that? In my opinion, what ends up is that the original motion to deny the site plan is one that prevails, since the rescinding motion was not done properly. Lastly, the attorney that was hired by the citizens group also has informed the citizens group of something important in your charter. And your charter provides you the authority to, by ordinance, to regulate, restrict, and limit the number of locations of oil and gasoline stations in the city. This provision is outside of the Land Development Code, the zoning regulations. So you always had the authority to say no and provide no explanation other than that, relying on your charter. And you didn't do that. And I know some of you were fearful during your vote, saying that you were in fear of a lawsuit because there wasn't enough explanation for it. You didn't need it because you already had that authority under your charter. So again, it's my opinion that right now the motion to deny the site plan prevails. The rescinding motion never occurred because it wasn't done properly. And if you want to redo that, you should at least redo that motion. Thank you.
Thank you. This will be the end of, you get to speak, but this will be the last person for audience communication. We'll have audience communication again at the end of the meeting, should anyone else want to speak. Welcome.
Thank you. Jim Biggett, Northwest Livonia. Thank you for letting me be last. I always enjoy that. They've all made me remember what I talked about the night of the meeting minutes being approved, and one of my questions was, and I've realized it hasn't been addressed. I asked at that meeting, were we going to adopt the motion with all the changes that Sheets had mentioned the night of the rescinding, or the meeting before the rescinding motion went through, of all the changes? And I never heard anything or saw anything in the minutes mentioning what you were going to do regarding all the changes Sheets had mentioned they were doing. And when the rescission vote happened, I came up and said the exact same thing. Now that you've voted to make all these changes, were you going back to what Sheets had presented at the previous meeting, and were those going to be addressed in the meeting minutes? And nobody ever said anything. So I still don't know what you approved, and I don't think anybody in the room or Sheets knows what you approved that night, because the meeting minutes don't address all the changes and everything that was being done. And I think Councilperson Scheel put things back into the package for Scheel that were removed by Sheets out of the package. So quite frankly, I don't know what you approved. I know nobody in the room knows what you approved, and Sheets probably doesn't know what you approved. And this past weekend, I was in Ohio for an event, and I was at a Sheets. They didn't have a drive-up window. Everybody went inside, placed their order at a kiosk, got their food, made their drink orders, whatever, paid inside. Of course, they had music outside, which was very loud, that you could hear, and they had the stupid recording thing going on at the pump. So you had two competing sounds going at one time. It was very disruptive and very disorienting. So what all are you approving, and what is Sheets supposed to do? Does the planning, or does the building department know what they're supposed to do? Does the planning department know what they're supposed to do? What does anybody know what Sheets is supposed to be building to? That's my question, and how does it get answered, and how do we know what they're supposed to build? Can you answer that question tonight sometime, please? Thank you.
Thank you. That ends our audience communication. We'll now go to council announcements. Just a couple things before I go to my colleagues here. Councilman Morgan has requested that we move item 11 to our regular meeting of December 17th, so we'll be pulling that from the agenda tonight. And then I will go to my colleagues. Mr. Donovic.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. A few things. One is, I know a resident brought up Livonia Vision. I know a resident brought up the Planning Commission meeting for Livonia Vision 26, I think she referred to it as. I did not watch that meeting, but I've been a part of some of the planning meetings with Councilwoman Budzinski and our planning department, Mr. Tormina. For the benefit of the audience and anybody watching at home, local municipalities have to update their zoning ordinances and planning and whatnot. I know I'm kind of botching that a little bit, but essentially every 5 years, the cities have to go through this procedure of looking at their zoning ordinances and taking certain actions and updating things. It's more nuanced than that, but just that's the timing of it. So the last time we did it was 2021, and subsequently every 5 years, cities look at that. So I wanted to touch on that. And then also the group of girls, which they just left, but I thought that was very awesome. American Heritage Girls Troop 0711. That was awesome that they did their presentation tonight, honoring our veterans and talking about God. It was very good to see such young people talking about faith, service, and fun, and that's what makes America so great. So I'm looking forward to that event, December 13th at 12 p.m. Wreaths Across America and American Heritage Girls will have a ceremony at noon, and they invite you to join the ceremony honoring military heroes. The event is open to the public, and they will be laying wreaths throughout the cemetery at Glen Eden Memorial Park, 35667 8 Mile Road, 35667 8 Mile Road in Livonia, December 13th at 12 p.m. Sincerely appreciate that. Thank you, Madam Vice President.
Thank you. Councilmember Budzinski.
Yes, I'll just piggyback on the Vision 21, 26 thing. It is a state requirement that municipalities update this. I was looking on my computer. What's being looked at for Book 5 is related to mixed-use housing type of thing, and there have been some public hearings already, and so or public engagement activities that has happened already. I know one was in April at the library, so again, there'll be more of that, but this is just traditional protocol that does happen, and not, I would say not big news or big changes for that people can expect out of that. Otherwise, I'll just say it's a holiday season. Last month, wild as it sounds, November and Thanksgiving, the Senior Center had its first holiday party hosted by Carl and Carrie Jost. I would say specifically because I work so hard on those events, I like to pop in and help out with those parties whenever I can. And it was the biggest one I have been to yet. It was at the New Space. It was a really great time. Carrie Jo kept everyone entertained because a very big Thanksgiving meal was cooked by Carl and other volunteers, brought over from the old Senior Center to the new Senior Center just because there's events happening at the old one. So all that to say is they worked so hard over at the Senior Center. They really made it a special day for everyone who is there. I was happy to be a part of it. We're in the new building. There are still things that they are working on. They are listening to residents who have concerns and making changes continuously. So, as there are some bumps in the road, just have patience. If you go there, you know Carl and Carrie Jo and how much they care and how much work they put into making sure that everyone has a welcoming, positive experience at the Senior Center. And then, there's more holiday events happening this weekend. The Livonia Symphony Orchestra has their concert on Saturday at Clarenceville. I believe it starts at 4 o'clock, possibly 3 o'clock. I'm going to be there. It's 4. I think it's 4. And then the Marion Bright Parade is on Sunday. It starts at Frost at 4 o'clock and ends here at City Hall for the tree lighting ceremony. And then there's the after party at the Civic Center Library across the parking lot, where there's special guest Santa and generally hot chocolate, and I know lots of crafts. So hope you can join, and it's always a good time.
Thank you. Councilmember Shield.
Thank you. For the audiences and people from home listening, if you ever want to know what's included in the minutes, they are in our Civic Center packets. So the minutes from the November 5th meeting are in the Civic Center, the City Council packets from November 17th. So you can always go to the meeting minutes and look up the minutes there to see what's in the minutes from the previous meetings. Thank you.
Thank you. President McCullough.
Thank you. All right, so I have, Councilman Morgan's not here, but he usually announces the retirees. And in this month, we have David Call, Fire Lieutenant, and had 21 years and 11 months with our city. I think that deserves a round of applause. Listen, it's one thing for us to read these out, but the dedication that goes into our world-class public safety. I hope David's watching right now. I'm sure he is. But congratulations and happy retirement. I do have some other items. I wanted, normally I would have addressed the car wash. Now, it's been moved. There's two things that can happen. I'm the council president, which means I can set the agenda. And I just want to have all transparency, is that my original recommendation was to move it to, I believe it was January 17th, which is our first regular meeting under the new council. However, there are different ways and maneuvers by the charter to allow an item with 3 members of council requesting an item to be added to the agenda. Or it could be 3 or 4. Listen, I'm really good at building, but when it comes to the legalities, I just want to be transparent. I want everybody to keep an eye on the agenda because it could pop back up for the 17th. The 17th is our last meeting, and it's only a regular meeting. So what I would do is, anybody that's out there that is coming to this, and I apologize because we've tabled it, we've had a committee of the whole, and now it's in limbo again. Follow it. I'm going to plan on whatever happens, posting it to my social media. So moving on from that, Noah, I appreciate you as always, and I'm taking your notes. We're going to send them out. Mr. Zielinski is here too. We're going to make sure we'll get you an update on it. A lot of times right now with the frost laws, it's kind of tough with concrete, but I appreciate you bringing that to our attention, and we'll let Parks and Recreation know. A lot of times with this weather, it comes at us quick, and they do their best. So, but I appreciate you taking the time to let us know. All right, next one, sheets. I'm not going to ask for a formal report recommendation, but if it's possible through the chair to our city attorney, is maybe gaining a high level of what was included, was it, because I do have some questions, the residents do bring up some points, and I don't want to get into it here, but I'd like maybe a version to report out on the 17th. Just, was a drive-through there, what was approved? I know it's all in the minutes, but it's just more of something maybe I can bullet point announce and get to the residents. All right. What else? I put something in here goofy. Okay, for the fun things, they're all fun and they're important. But I'm wearing right now it's a PWHL Sirens. It's the Professional Women's Hockey League, and so it's very important to me. And I'm going to use this because there's millions of people watching. But Detroit needs a team, and I've had the distinct honor of coaching some of our Livonia girls. And I've been watching the program grow. And actually on the girls' side, the numbers are outpacing the boys. And Detroit's been in the running, and the issue with Little Caesars and everything, and they're supposed to be 4 expansion teams. And my daughter got to participate in a camp in New York. So the Sirens are close to my heart right now. Detroit will be when that time comes. And I know, I think we had, Mr. Murray brought up the fact that he covered a story on women's sports. We had an issue where some of our girl hockey players were not getting letters, and thanks to the LPS and the school board, they changed that. And so it's something that's very important to me, and if someone out there from the PWHL is listening, let's get a team in Detroit. Secondly, moving on to more hockey. Livonia All-Stars. All right, I know I bring this up. May 2nd, the game is locked in. Eddie Edgar, it's Saturday. Listen, everybody's going, why are you doing it in May? Well, one, the Red Wings are going to be in the playoffs on that time frame and hopefully going in the second round. And second, I just get worried every time the Lions potentially could be in the NFC Championship game. So May 2nd, mark your calendars. You're going to see information. Buy your tickets. They're going to be $10. Everything goes now to Breaking Barriers, which was Livonia Kids and Families. We're going to bring Councilman Donovic, so he's a draw. He's going, I can't believe you're going to let me play. And I'm like, listen, you pack the seats because everybody wants to see you get beat up. But we will have 2 teams again, and it's going to be a blast. And hopefully we get some good weather, maybe have a barbecue. And judging by the applause, it sounds like we're going to sell out pretty quick. So get those tickets. With that, I am done, Madam Vice President. I appreciate that.
Thank you. I almost hesitate to go back to Councilman Donovic, but I will.
Yeah, thanks, Madam Vice President. First, I'll say someone clapped a little bit too aggressively about me getting beat up in the audience. I just want to put that on the record. And then also, I'll take some objection with my respectful colleague here, the Council President, about the verbiage used. Traditionally speaking, when a council member is going to be absent for whatever personal reasons, which we all up here have been absent at some point, some more than others, we can respectfully ask the council president and council to have an item removed off the agenda if we want to participate in that. So what happened tonight was a council member asked if item number 11 would be removed off the agenda, and asked if that item would be placed on the December 17th agenda so they could participate in that discussion. It happens from time to time. We all have full-time jobs, we all have families, so these things happen. It's not out of the ordinary. It may be inconvenient for some, completely understand, and from my perspective, I'd rather just get it over with as opposed to continuing to wait on things, but that's just how it goes. So it's very normal. The council president can voluntarily place that item back on the next agenda as requested by the colleagues. If not, then 3 council members would formally have to provide notice to the council president to have that item added to the agenda. Hopefully, it doesn't have to get to that point. Just add it on the agenda like the council member asked, again, which happens and has been the policy of the council for many, many, many years. So thank you, Madam Vice President.
Thank you. Councilmember Toy.
Thank you very much, Madam Vice President. If I may, to our city attorney, I would also like to echo, I'd like that recap on sheets just to see kind of where we're at in the last meeting there. And if I may address to Mr. Martin. Mr. Martin, I appreciate your concern about using my name in regards when I was council president. This council also has a posture of if any council members do not want to extend time or whatever, then that's their prerogative. And that's what happened when I was chairing that meeting. Mr. McCann, Mr. Meekin, I believe Mr. Pastor, several of them were on, and we had given you a allotted time. So
that's a lie.
Sir,
That's a flat-out lie.
I'm sorry if he thinks it's a lie, but I think we have a tape.
I don't think, I know.
Okay, sorry, Madam Chair. I think we have a tape on that, and I know it's bothered him for many years, and I thought before I leave this chair, I just wanted to clarify that. So in the future, if the council, doesn't approve that, then that's the way it is. That's up to the council. So I just wanted to mention that. And also about the eating that bothered him. Some of us do have health problems like diabetes, and many of us have come to 6 o'clock meetings or earlier and don't get even a chance for dinner sometimes. So just clarify that a little bit. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. All right. That will end our council announcements. We have no reports from the mayor or other city officials tonight, so we're going to move on to the consent agenda. Items 1 through 9 on the consent agenda will be voted on as one item. These items were previously discussed at the study meeting that took place on November 17th, 2025, and determined to be non-controversial. Do I have a motion?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Support.
Okay, moved by Toy, support from McCullough. Do we have any comments from the audience on the consent agenda? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
Councilmember Toy.
Aye.
Councilmember Donovan.
Aye.
President McCullough.
Aye.
Councilmember Baczynski.
Aye.
Councilmember Shield.
Aye.
Vice President Tashnik.
Aye. The vote passes 6-0, and the consent agenda is approved. We'll now move on to some unfinished business, starting with item number 10, a committee of the whole meeting of November 17th, 2025. The subject matter was council office staffing and salaries. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. McCullough to report out.
Thank you. The subject matter of the council office staffing and salaries. The meeting was held on November 17th. It was the 2nd, 2025. We had members, myself, the Vice President, Martha Tashnik, Councilman Baczynski, Councilman Donovic, and Councilwoman Shield. We had city officials were present, were Janine Leibel, our Civil Service Director, and Carter Fisher, our city attorney. So we've had multiple meetings. I'm not going to belabor this, but this is going to kind of our office staffing levels. And how they've changed so much since Councilman Donovic and Councilman Toy and even since you guys have been on, it's been a thing, it's changed, it's morphed. And so we want to make sure that we have enough staffing that our staff in the council office has a proper work-life balance. And unfortunately, we didn't hear any information that was supposed to come from the Civil Service Department. However, there are different salary levels that they're going to be looking to work with personnel going forward, and we're going to keep an eye on it. Council has decided to keep this in committee, which gives us the leverage to bring it back without a formal vote. Like I said, it's going to remain. The committee adjourned at 6:15, and it's going to stay in committee.
All right, Mr. Donovic.
Thanks, Council Vice President. I just want to thank the President for your leadership on this. You've worked with our Council Manager, Sarah Kaskowitz, on this item, and for the audience or the people watching that don't understand, our Council Program Manager, Sarah, regardless of who the person is, but particularly her that we've dealt with, does a great job in that office, and our office needs some attention, and the Council President has been working hard with the administration. If it's not for the Council Manager, the City Council can't do their job in serving the residents and working on a whole host of different things. And so I just want to thank you, sir, appreciate it, and our Council Manager on that. For the future councils, we do have authority, and we do need a strong council office to accomplish various things with 7 different council members and all sorts of things going on. And our council manager speaks on the behest of individual council members, and we have to make sure that that position is given the proper authorities it needs to help the council members do their job. So thanks, Mr. President.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Toy.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. I echo some of the comments that have been made, particularly when it comes to our office. There's many balls that have to be handled, sometimes in the air, sometimes not. And we used to have 3 people in that office. Actually, we had a part-timer and 2 full-timers. And unfortunately, as the economy went through the years, we dwindled down to 1 person. And after Judy Preby left, Sarah was put into that position, and it's a lot of things to handle. I mean, how do you get up and do other tasks around City Hall and go to other departments when there's nobody there? And so we kind of explored this, and I would hope that future councils also explore this kind of thing as they get used to the council office and it's working. So I leave that to the 3 of you and educating our new members as well. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on. We already talked about that item 11 will be tabled this evening. Moving on to our unfinished business, item number 12, a proposed amendment to the Livonia Code of Ordinances as amended. This comes to us from our Department of Law to amend the district boundaries of the downtown district of the Plymouth Road Development Authority pursuant to Act 57 of the Public Acts of Michigan of 2018. Council.
I'll offer a first read.
We have a first read from Mr. Donovic. Any comments? Audience? Oh, go ahead.
For the sake of just clarification, this is the PRDA is an authority that captures, well, was supposed to capture tax dollars to enhance the beautification of the Plymouth Road corridor. This has been in place for decades, and the City Council in this item is amending some of the district boundaries. We are removing some of the boundaries in Stark and Capitol and Rosati. Some of these are different places. We're removing those and making some fixes. So this is very standard, and the PRDA is a great thing for the Plymouth Road Authority to enhance and beautify Plymouth Road. Thank you, Madam Vice President.
Thank you, Mr. Donovic. Anyone else? Audience? All right, moving on to item 13, proposed amendment to the Livonia Code of Ordinances as amended. This also comes to us from the Department of Law to amend the development plan and termination and adoption of a new tax increment finance plan pursuant to Act 57 of the Public Acts of Michigan of 2018. Council.
Madam Vice President.
Mr. Donovic.
I'll offer a first read.
Thank you.
And similarly, this is now, for the audience, this is a tax structure. So this is going to allow the Planning Department and our Assessor's Office to capture the necessary taxes that are already being paid, and those will divert those to the PRDA fund so that those dollars can be spent on those PRDA initiatives. Thank you, Madam Vice President.
Thank you. Anything from the audience? Seeing none, moving on. Item 14. This is a proposed amendment to the Livonia zoning ordinances as amended from the Department of Law. regarding petition 2025-09-01-01 submitted by J&J Land Holdings LLC under Section 13.15 of the Livonia zoning ordinance, as amended, requesting to rezone the property at 13400 Newburgh Road, located at the southeast corner of Newburgh and Schoolcraft Roads in the northwest corner of Section 29 from M1, which is a light manufacturing district, to C2, general business district. To construct a gas station and convenience store. The public hearing was held on November 19th, 2025.
Madam
Council.
Chair, so moved.
Support.
It's a first read.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll give it
Would you like a first read?
Yes, please.
You were so
Thank
quick on
you.
the support, I couldn't even interject, sorry.
That's
So,
all right.
we have a first read from Councilmember Toy. The floor is yours. Do you have anything?
No,
Okay.
you explained it very well. It's adding the gas station at Newburgh and Schoolcraft in the corner east there, and that's the way it goes. We'll see how the vote goes next time around.
Mr. Donovic.
Yeah, thanks, Madam Vice President. Yeah, pretty excited about this. This is the old Bearings building. It's an industrial building in a very industrial area. It's all manufacturing over there. So it'll be exciting to see the retail component and the fueling operations there. They're going to put up a big American flag. Pretty excited about that. A lot of landscaping. I know all those discussions will happen at the site plan portion, but reviewing their petition, it was pretty neat to see the beautification that's going to happen at that corner of Newburgh and Schoolcraft. You have on-ramps right there. It's a great location for this type of usage. And it'll be nice. I know there's a ton of Livonia residents that work in those factories right there. It's all factories if you drive by Newburgh and Schoolcraft. And it'll be a nice location for them to go out and grab a bite to eat, grab some snacks on the way to and from home, grab some gas. I think the petitioner said that gas will be no more than $1.99 a gallon, is what I heard. So we'll see if we can make sure that happens. But looking forward to this. I love to see development. I love to see the American flag added. I love to see, I mean, this is going to be millions of dollars added to this corner. I know they're talking about demoing a portion of the building, so it's not going to be the full building. It's going to be a smaller portion of the building. They're moving it back. Some nice enhancements right there, so I'm looking forward to it. So thanks, Council Vice President.
Thank you. Anyone else from council? Audience? All right, seeing none, we will move on to item 15. Did you want the floor? No. For this item, I'm going to pass the gavel to the next senior member, which would be Mr. Donovic. So if you could just toss that over there for me.
I'm going to read the item.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, item number 15, roll call, proposed amendment to the Livonia Court of Ordinances as amended, Council Vice President Martha Tashnik to amend Title II of Chapter 2.96, Section 160, Retirement System Qualifications for Membership. First reading was given by Council Vice President Martha Tashnik on November 17th, 2025. There is going to be an announcement by our Council President and Councilman Toy. Council President.
Thank you. So at the last meeting, a few of us had to recuse ourselves, and thanks to Mr. Carter again, just for the legalities. I wanted to address why, at least for me, from my vantage point. So I'm recusing myself because so we have a defined contribution for the city, and when I joined in 2019, I was given the option to have a defined contribution of 401k. And me personally, I have my retirement set up through different various places, and I declined it. And so for that reason, I have to recuse myself because if this item, whatever it goes, could have a financial impact. And so at the advice from our city attorney and our ethics that we have at the city, that is the reason that me personally have to now recuse myself. But I would like to go on record, and that is because I have denied it.
Thank you, sir. Madam Councilmember Toy.
Thank you. I too am recusing myself from this vote because I may get financial interest as well, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Council.
Mr. Donovic.
Madam Vice President.
Thank you. Typically, at this point, you would offer, I'm going to. was in the process, thank you. Typically, you would offer a second read at this point, but instead, I will not be moving forward with a second read. Instead, I would like to motion to send this to Finance and Budget Committee.
Support.
All right, a motion's been offered by Council Vice President. It's been seconded by Council Bazinski. Council, any discussion? Council Vice President.
Thank you. I feel that we need further review and refinement. The intent behind this ordinance revision is critical. We need to streamline the administration of employee benefit packages for all of our city payroll. We need to mitigate also potential errors in benefit selection and ensure that benefit provisions cannot be exploited for political purposes or posturing. My support for this update is grounded solely in these foundational objectives. However, over the last week or two, I've taken a much closer examination with some help from different departments, and it reveals that the current draft, while addressing our core need here, may have some unintended consequences. Specifically, the current language could potentially be pursued or utilized in a retroactive manner, and that's something I believe is inappropriate. So this will provide us, by sending it to committee, the necessary time to collaborate with the law department to draft at least what I think is more precise and effective language, and to thoroughly assess any potential financial implications associated with the revision, which is why I would like to send this to Finance and Budget. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Council Vice President. Any additional comments from the council? Council Member Shield.
Thank you. As it was given as a first reading, I was not in support of this. I will be in support of sending this to the Finance Committee so there can be further discussion made on this. I was not happy with any of the unintended consequences that may arise from this. So that is I'm happy that it's going this way. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Shield. Any additional discussion? Okay, I will add myself. I will be in support of this going to the Finance Committee chaired by our Vice President, our Finance Chair. That's why we have committees. Our committee structures are to study particular items more in depth. Information is thrown at us, and sometimes we're not ready to take a vote, and we want to continue to work on things. We hear info and input from our residents, from our department staff, and various sources, so it's important to listen, and I'm happy that this structure exists, and thank you, Council Vice President, for all the work you've done on this item as our Finance Chair, and I'm looking forward to, well, I won't be here when the Finance meeting, I'm presuming, is going to be scheduled.
Rob.
They're open meetings. You're welcome to come.
I can still come and hang out with my old friends, but I think it's a great step to understand defined comp. We have some 600 employees in the city of Livonia. Full-time, part-time employees get defined comp, 401ks, or the private sector gets 401ks, government employees get 401as. Essentially the same thing, there's just some different legalese there. So council members are part-time employees, just like our Department of Public Works, our library staff, our water and sewer staff, you name it. There's part-time employees that get your standard defined comp, your 401, and there's some language there. Ironically, council members, if you waive, there's only 10 officials, 10 city employees that can waive their 401s. And I think it's a bad policy. It should be amended. For example, if a city council member waives their 401, but then is elected to a different position, they can opt into that 401. So there's some inconsistencies there. And like our council vice president said, trying to streamline that process. When council members come and go, there's new employees coming and going, new HR staff. So we are the only authority that can amend resolutions, amend ordinances, and this is a standard procedure where we'll send items to the committee and study those more. So I'll be in favor of it. Any additional comments from the council? We're going to go to the audience for 2 minutes on the motion to send it to committee, the Finance Committee. So please make your remarks towards the Finance Committee. Please, name and address for the record, please.
Denise Micah, Livonia. Through the Finance Committee, well, from what I understand, and I was looking at this intently too, that if somebody is going out of office, that however long this study takes, and from what I believe the ordinance change came from the mayor's office, that somebody will not be eligible, because then it will be a break in service come December 31st if it goes to the Finance Committee. And I think that's sad in a way, but there's a lot more to it. But I hope that is taken into consideration, that this isn't just a smoke screen to not give the benefit to somebody for just a short time what they want. And I know serving for the city, you do get paid, but you are eligible, and sometimes, for retirement, different benefits, that your circumstances do change over time. And with term limits, that is what has brought in the breaks in service a lot of time, because we used to have people on city council for 20 years and stuff. So that's another area that, if somebody had put in their paper or their desire before the time expired, that would they still be considered? And that could be a lot of different people. That could be, I don't know what Councilman Morgan's position was. He left too, was recused at that time. So it's more than a few people. So anyway, I hope that, if you want me to explain that to you later, Mr. Fisher, I will. But I'm concerned about that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional audience communication on the motion to send this to the Finance Committee? Hi, good evening. Name and address for the record, please.
Hi, Cindy Fleming, Livonia. Like Mrs. Micah just said, moving this to a committee at this time when two of the people that recuse themselves about this issue, and I know that you're all privy to certain information that we don't get. When we read the packets and we read the proposals, when we read the agendas, when we read the minutes, just like earlier. So if it's moved, I believe that there's a Michigan law that once someone's term is expired, they can no longer get any benefits. So I believe that Mr. Morgan's and Ms. Toy's terms would expire. If this is moved to committee, that would negatively impact them. And so I ask you to consider this very carefully. And, some people who work really hard and are dedicated to the city, to the citizens, and to make sure things are happening. And I would just hate for someone to be, that be their going away present. Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional audience communication? Any additional audience communication? Okay, audience communication has been closed. Council, any additional remarks before we go to vote? All right, no more remarks from the City Council. Clerk, please take the roll.
Vice President Tashnik?
Aye.
Councilmember Pazinski?
Aye.
Councilmember Shield?
Aye.
And Councilmember Donovic.
Aye, motion passes 4-0, and the council members can come back up to the dais. And I'm going to pass the gavel back to the Council Vice President.
Are you timing them back to their seats?
I made it to the parking lot. I was escorting back in.
Uh-oh.
He was timing you
Sergeant
back.
Arms brought you back.
All right, you guys good? All right, moving on, we have new business. Item number 16 is a request to approve amendment to lease agreement for Fox Creek Restaurant. This comes to us from the Department of Law with an increase in lease payment for the second 5-year term and one option to renew for an additional 5 years and a change in tenant LLC. Council.
Madam Vice President, I'd love to offer an approving resolution.
Okay, we have an approving from Mr. McCullough.
Support.
Support from Shield. Mr. McCullough?
Yes. So this is more of kind of a paperwork, well, kind of cool. We've got our friends from Coach's Corner here, and we got Mike and Nick, and they, if anybody that's been to Coach's know. And so this is a transfer of ownership more for the lease to Nick. So that way, when you see him there, you can yell at him all the time. No, they do a great job. They're always willing to help the community, and this is, we're happy to have them as a tenant for the city.
Thank you. You want to come
Yeah,
on up and,
Nick, you got to talk for 10 minutes.
but we'll gavel you at 2.
Yeah.
Good evening.
How you guys doing?
Good evening, everybody. And thank you for the opportunity to meet with you folks tonight.
It's good to see. It's good to see you outside of the coaches, guys.
Yeah.
I like it.
Don't get out often, but.
They let us out for 5 minutes and we got to go back, so.
Yeah.
No, after I'm going into my 25th year as owner of coaches, and Nick's been with me. Started out as a freshman baseball player at Madonna and a dishwasher at the old coach's corner, and got his degree in business, and have some ownership in the restaurant, and hopefully he doesn't fire me come first of the year. But his phone can ring at 5 a.m. and not mine. But I'm not planning on going anywhere. The plan is just nothing's really going to change. Going to let him, call the shots, and whatever he needs me to do, I'm there to do it for him.
Sounds great.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Madam
being
Vice
such a
President?
great fixture in our city. Yes, Mr. McCullough.
So, like I said, from everybody, it will stay the same. It's just probably more paperwork because, Coach, you're not going anywhere. You're going to be there all the time. But like I said, if you haven't been to Coach's Corner, which would be surprising as a Livonia resident, these are two of the best people in the city. And, I know we sometimes will always say anybody that comes up here, but I've got to know both of them, and they're like family and two of the greatest guys in the world. So if you haven't been to Coach's, feel free to reach out. Like I said, they, anytime they'll sponsor events for the city, they run a great events. They do everything and anything for the city and for the customers that they deal with, and it's noted, and we appreciate you.
That.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Anyone else from council or from the audience on this? All right, seeing none, Madam Clerk.
Councilmember Toy?
Aye.
Councilmember Donovan?
Aye.
President McCullough?
Aye.
Councilmember Bazinski?
Aye.
Councilmember Shield?
Aye.
Vice President Tashnik?
Aye. Motion carries 6-0. We'll now go back to the audience for any communication for items not on the agenda. Mr. Donovic will take the time.
Hi, my name is Victoria Wysocki. I live in the Quakertown subdivision, and I was disappointed. I apologize for my outburst because I wasn't aware that we could just cancel agenda items, and we did drive here in the snow tonight to come and be here and speak. But I do want to share my thoughts on one thing regarding the car wash going in, and it's not really about the car wash. It's about the traffic light. Last or a couple weeks ago when we were at the committee of the whole, it was talked about. But since then, I've heard a rumor, and I just want to make sure this is not true, that the installation of that traffic light may not allow people to turn left into the Quakertown subdivision off of 6 Mile. And if that is the case, that could be a real problem for those of us trying to get into our sub. It would force us to go all the way down to Haggerty and then try to turn left off of Haggerty. And you guys know what the lineup to turn left onto Haggerty is, and then turn another left. So I'm just asking because there's been a little bit of talk in the subdivision that may be something that might have to happen with this traffic light, and I just want to make sure that that is not the case. And I don't know if anybody here knows, but I'd like to hear more, or at least make sure that's talked about before we go and do this vote. Thank you.
Thank you.
Denise, Mike, I just got a text from someone that I did read, and they were leaving City Hall, and they said the ramp going down is very treacherous. So I thought I'd warn everybody before they leave the room. Thank you.
Thank you for the warning. Sir, I think you already spoke during audience communication tonight,
It's a different subject.
but you spoke at the beginning.
it's
You have
the-
to wait to the study now.
Okay.
So just 10 minutes. Anyone else? Anyone from council? Mr. Donovic.
Yeah, thanks, Council, Vice President. I know that we removed item number 11, so I don't want to get too deep in the weeds. But since we have a resident here, and since it was said on the record, the traffic light, from my understanding to our city engineer, briefly, I don't want to go into this because it was removed off the agenda, but that's not accurate, the prohibited left turn into Quakertown. I thought the entire objective of the traffic signal was to provide signalized turning into Quakertown.
Correct. The proposed light that would be built would have a left turn onto going west, going south into Quakertown. Also, there'll be ability to do a left turn outside at Quakertown going north and heading west also. So it'll improve that intersection
Yeah,
for
I know we'll
traffic.
talk more about this presumably at the next meeting. I just want to put that on the record right now before I get out there. Thanks, Council Vice President.
Thank you. All right, well,
Motion to
I
adjourn.
was going to say, I need a motion. Thank you. We have a motion. I think, do we have support? supported by Toy. I think we can safely show 6. We'll be back in 10 minutes, so let's say 8:45.